You think confidence is loud? That it's found in the way someone walks, talks, or stands in a crowd. But the Stoics knew something deeper. True confidence is silent. It doesn't shout. It doesn't need to. Because when you're truly confident, you no longer perform for the world. You act from within. Today, everyone talks about confidence. We're told to believe in ourselves, to fake it till we make it, to walk with our heads high and our voices strong. But think about it. How often does that confidence last when things fall apart? When you lose your job, your relationship, or your reputation, does that same confidence stay with you? For most people, it doesn't. Because what they call confidence is actually approval addiction, a fragile sense of worth built on how others see them. The Stoics, Marcus Aurelius, Seneca, Epictetus, they approached confidence differently. They believed real strength doesn't depend on anything outside your control. They taught that everything external, fame, beauty, wealth, opinions, is temporary, unstable, and outside your command. And if your peace depends on something unstable, you'll live in constant fear of losing it. That's not confidence. That's dependence. Marcus Aurelius once said, "You have power over your mind, not outside events. Realize this and you will find strength." This is the foundation of Stoic confidence. It's not about being admired. It's about being anchored. Anchored in self-control, reason, and calm. When you stop chasing validation, you start finding freedom. Think about a calm lake. Its surface doesn't need to prove how deep it is. It doesn't need to make noise. It simply reflects. That's the kind of confidence the Stoics spoke of. A quiet stability that no storm can shake. Contrast that with modern life. People post pictures, flex achievements, seek attention, all to convince the world that they're enough. But underneath, most are anxious, insecure, lost, because they built their identity on something they can't control. The opinions of others. The Stoic knows better. He understands that everything outside his mind is neutral. It only becomes good or bad when he labels it. That's why Stoic confidence begins with awareness. The ability to observe your thoughts without being ruled by them. When someone insults you, you pause. You ask, "Is this within my control?" If not, you let it go. Because you understand, their words say more about their mind than yours. Confidence doesn't mean you never doubt. It means your doubts no longer control you. You see them, you feel them, but you don't obey them. You stop being the prisoner of your emotions and start becoming their master. That's why Stoic confidence feels different. It's quiet, grounded, calm. It's not about feeling superior. It's about knowing you can face anything and remain centered. If you want to build this kind of confidence, you must begin where the Stoics did, with the mind. Ask yourself, what do I actually control? What is simply beyond me? You'll realize most of what stresses you, what makes you insecure, comes from trying to control what isn't yours. What people think, how they act, how life unfolds. But the moment you stop fighting that, you begin to win an invisible battle, the battle within. Imagine this. You wake up tomorrow. You look in the mirror and not to judge, but to observe. You don't try to look confident. You try to be calm. Because calmness is a higher form of confidence. Anyone can fake strength for a few seconds. But peace can't be faked. It must be built moment by moment. When you train yourself to respond calmly, you project quiet authority. People feel it without you saying a word. That's what Marcus meant when he said, "The best revenge is not to be like your enemy." True confidence is when you no longer need to react. So what is Stoic confidence really? It's not the absence of fear. It's mastery over it. It's knowing that your worth doesn't rise or fall with someone's opinion, a failure, or a setback. It's an inner fortress built from discipline, clarity, and acceptance. The modern world teaches you to project confidence. The Stoics teach you to possess it. So before you try to look confident, learn to be calm. Because calm is unshakable. Calm is power. Calm is the root of all true confidence. Now that you understand the foundation, it's time to build it, one habit at a time. In the next episode, we'll explore how Stoic discipline trains the mind to turn confidence from an idea into a living practice. Stay grounded, stay aware, and remember, real confidence doesn't need to speak. It simply is. How to build Stoic confidence, Part 2, the practice. Confidence isn't born, it's trained. You don't wake up one morning suddenly fearless, focused, and calm. You build it through repetition, through effort, through discipline. The Stoics understood that no one becomes strong by accident. Strength is a choice made daily, often quietly, without applause, without witnesses. Marcus Aurelius didn't talk about greatness. He practiced it in silence. Seneca didn't post motivation. He wrote reminders to himself on how to stay calm in the face of chaos. And Epictetus, born a slave, taught that freedom doesn't come from changing your circumstances, but from mastering yourself. No man is free who is not master of himself. Epictetus. That is the essence of Stoic confidence. It's not a feeling you wait for. It's a state you train for. Discipline is the bridge between who you are and who you want to become. Every time you do what you said you would do, even when it's hard, even when no one's watching, you strengthen the trust between you and yourself. That trust is confidence. Because how can you trust yourself if you constantly break your own promises? Confidence doesn't grow from success, and it grows from self-respect. And self-respect comes from discipline. Think about it. If you tell yourself, tomorrow I'll wake up early, and you don't, a small part of your mind learns that your words mean nothing. But when you do, when you keep that simple promise, you send a signal to your subconscious. I can rely on me. Do that enough times and you no longer need motivation. You move with quiet certainty. You don't hype yourself up, you just act. Because you know you'll follow through. That's real confidence. Not the loud kind. The disciplined kind. The Stoics practiced this every day, what they called daily training. Each morning Marcus Aurelius would remind himself, today I will meet people who are selfish, ungrateful, arrogant, deceitful, not to complain, but to prepare. He understood that mental strength isn't built in comfort. It's built through readiness. Morning was for awareness, to remember what's within your control. Daytime was for observation, to watch your thoughts, your reactions, your impulses. Night was for reflection, to ask, how well did I live according to my principles today? That's the Stoic routine. Awareness, observation, reflection. No magic, no tricks, just steady training. The modern world has made discipline sound like punishment. But for the Stoic, discipline was freedom. When you master your impulses, you stop being ruled by them. Discipline isn't about restriction. It's about direction. It's the act of choosing your response instead of being dragged by emotion. Every time you say no to distraction, you're saying yes to your future self. Every time you stay calm when provoked, you're proving that your peace doesn't depend on others. Every time you follow through on a promise, you remind your mind who's in control. This is how confidence is built, not through words, but through habits. The Stoics didn't seek easy lives. They sought strong minds, and strong minds are forged in small, repetitive acts of self-command. It's not about grand achievements. It's about the moment you choose focus over comfort, when you train your body even when you don't feel like it, when you stay silent instead of reacting with anger, when you return to your work instead of scrolling endlessly. Each of these moments is a rep for your character. Each one is weight lifted in the gym of the mind. You may think these little acts don't matter, but the Stoics knew a single drop of discipline repeated daily forms an ocean of strength. Confidence without discipline is a house built on sand. One challenge and it collapses. But confidence built on discipline, that's a fortress. Because discipline gives you proof. Proof that when life gets difficult, you can rely on yourself. You don't crumble under pressure. You return to your training. That's why Stoicism is practical, not theoretical. It's not about reciting quotes, and it's about living them. If you say you value calm, practice patience. If you say you value growth, practice consistency. If you say you value freedom, practice restraint. Every principle means nothing until it becomes a habit. The Stoics used reflection as a weapon. At the end of each day, they didn't just scroll, they reviewed. They asked, where did I lose control? Where did I act according to virtue? What can I improve tomorrow? This is how they turned philosophy into muscle, by transforming thought into practice. Imagine ending each night not in guilt or regret, but with quiet clarity, knowing that even if you stumbled, you showed up for yourself. That's confidence, the kind that no opinion, no failure, no rejection can touch. Here's the paradox. Discipline looks hard from the outside, but it's what makes life easier inside. Without it, you live in chaos and constantly reacting, constantly chasing. With it, you live with purpose, grounded, steady, in control. You can't think your way to confidence. You must act your way there. Every disciplined action, every moment you choose order over impulse, is a vote for the person you want to become. And over time, those votes create identity. That identity becomes confidence, not the kind that needs applause, but the kind that stands strong when no one's watching. So build your confidence the Stoic way. Train it, live it, repeat it. Wake up with awareness, live with self-control, end your day with reflection, because when discipline becomes your habit, confidence becomes your nature. Once discipline becomes your habit, it's time for the final step, resilience. In the next episode, we'll explore how Stoic confidence transforms into strength that cannot be broken. The kind that stays calm, even in chaos. Stay disciplined, stay grounded, and remember, confidence isn't born, it's trained. True confidence is calm in chaos. Anyone can appear strong when life is easy. But when the world tests you and when plans collapse, people disappoint you and nothing goes your way, that's when your true confidence is revealed. Because pressure doesn't build character, it reveals it. The Stoics understood this truth better than anyone. They didn't measure strength by how loud a person could speak, but by how still they could remain when the storm arrived. Every person faces moments when life feels unbearable, when control slips through your fingers, when uncertainty clouds your mind, when everything you planned begins to fall apart. In those moments, most people panic. They fight what they can't change. They spiral into frustration, anger, fear. But the Stoic takes a different path. He breathes. He pauses. He accepts. Because he knows that he doesn't control the storm. He only controls his response. That's the heart of resilience. Not resistance, but acceptance. The Stoics practiced resilience through 3 simple principles. 1. Acceptance. This is not bad, it simply is. When something happens, the average mind judges instantly. This is good. This is bad. But the Stoic refuses to label life so quickly. He knows that what happens is neutral. Only his interpretation gives it meaning. A loss might teach strength. A failure might build humility. An obstacle might become the path. So instead of saying, "Why me?" he says, "Let's see what I can learn." Marcus Aurelius wrote, "The impediment to action advances action. What stands in the way becomes the way." Acceptance doesn't mean giving up. It means facing reality without resistance, and moving with it, not against it. Here's control comes to what can I do right now? When chaos hits, your mind races toward everything outside your control. The Stoic brings it back. He asks one simple question. What's still mine to command? Your thoughts, your attitude, your effort, your next step, everything else and what others think, what they say, what the outcome will be, belongs to fate. And fighting fate is like arguing with the ocean. You'll only exhaust yourself. So instead, the Stoic focuses on action. He does what he can as best he can and accepts the rest. This is where true peace comes from. Not from controlling everything, but from controlling yourself. For a perspective, will this matter in a month? In a year? The Stoics used time to shrink their problems. They zoomed out. When something disturbed them, they imagined their life from above, as if watching the earth from the stars. And suddenly what seemed huge became small. The insult, the rejection, the failure, all temporary. Seneca wrote, "He who is brave is free." And courage begins with perspective, because once you see how short life is, you realize most of what upsets you is not worth the energy. Why waste your peace over things that will fade? Perspective frees you from overreaction. It teaches you to protect your calm as your most valuable possession. Resilience isn't the absence of pain. It's your response to it. It's not about never falling. It's about rising every single time. Each time life pushes you down and you choose patience instead of anger, acceptance instead of complaint, action instead of self-pity, you strengthen your inner fortress. That fortress is Stoic confidence at its highest level, a quiet, unshakable calm that no chaos can break. Look around. Most people seek comfort. The Stoic seeks control, not over the world but over himself. He knows that storms will come, but panic never helps. He knows that emotions will rise, but they don't have to rule him. He meets pain with presence. He meets fear with reason. He meets loss with understanding. That's not coldness. That's power, because the person who can stay calm when others crumble is the one who truly leads, not by words but by example. Think about your own life. The moments that broke you, they also shaped you. The disappointments that hurt you, they taught you patience. The rejections that wounded you, They taught you independence. Nothing was wasted. Every difficulty trained your mind to endure more. Every failure built your foundation a little stronger. Resilience isn't something you're born with. It's something you earn. Through suffering, through reflection, through recovery. And once you've earned it, you stop fearing life. You stop fearing people. You stop fearing loss. Because you finally realize nothing can truly take away your peace unless you hand it over. So when chaos arrives, don't ask, why me? Ask, what is this here to teach me? Don't resist life. Learn to dance with it. Move with what is, not with what you wish it to be. When you do that, you become untouchable. That's what the Stoics meant by freedom. Not living without hardship, but living above it. This is the final step. The point where discipline becomes strength and confidence becomes peace. This is Stoic confidence. Built, not borrowed. Remember this. Calm is not weakness. Stillness is not inaction. They are the highest forms of strength. The ones no one can see, but everyone can feel. So breathe, accept, act, and trust. Because once you master your inner world, no outer world can touch you.